Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went video game and we built the Omalon hand cannon from Destiny. And if you missed that build, we're going to include the link to our channel's homepage in the description below so you can go check out Omalon hand cannon or any of the other cool builds we have there. But now for this build we're going to go sci-fi. So, without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. That's right. Ooh, look at that. The Klingon knife. Look at that thing. Wow. It's dirty. It's got a dirty metal blade. It's got scratched up metal all over both sides on the edges. It's got this cool spike dealy on the back. I guess that's for tattooing people's foreheads. This thing is so cool and totally easy, man. This little thing is jamming and super easy. So in this episode, making an EVA foam Klingon knife part 1, we're going to begin going step by step through how to make it. And if you want to build along with us and build your very own Klingon knife, we have a template for this too. So we're going to include the link to our storefront also in the description below, so you can go there and pick up a template if you want. Build along with us. Alright, so if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Alright, here we go. We're going to start making our Klingon knife blade, and we're going to use 2 pieces of 4mm to do that. And okay, here's our piece of wire. We got it from a wreath frame that you can buy from any of your local craft stores. Just an empty wire frame for a wreath, and it was the perfect thickness we wanted, so we're going to use that. Now we'll bend it around our PVC a little bit at a time, and we're going to get our curve fixed first. Alright, there we go. Look at that. That's a good curve right there. Now we can come down in here and we can start straightening our wire out. Ooh, look at that. Pretty close. Pretty close to exactly what we want. Alright, there we go. That's perfect. So 1.5 inches or so, like that. It's going to go into the body of the knife. And we're going to snip them off. Right. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to get our Dremel out. We're going to Dremel this trench. Then after we Dremel the trench, we're going to drop this inside, and that's going to be our support. Okay, put your dust mask on before you Dremel. Alright, just like that. There we go. Look at that. Man, is that nice. That is really nice. Alright, now what we're going to do is this. We're going to come in and we're going to cut about 1/8 of an inch outside of our Sharpie line. We're going to bring this piece of the pattern over to here. I'm going to knock our end off. Alright, there we go. Give it a couple minutes till it dries, and then contact. We're going to bring our rod in. Press that down, and we're going to come over here. We're going to line this edge up flush down here. Just like that. Perfect. Now, because we cut it 1/8 of an inch outside of our template, we can come in and lay this down and redraw our line, and we know we're going to be exact. Alright, that's it. Now we know when we cut on this line, we're going to get the exact blade we wanted, and we know we're not going to hit our supports because they run in the middle. So we're going to follow right along. Straight through. Straight through. Alright, now look what we have. Oh, and it's stiff because it's got the metal on the inside. That is so cool. All right, now let's cut out our little center area. Look at that. Oh, so there we go. Look at that. So far, so good. Step one, which is probably the most difficult part of the build, went down smoothly. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to create a guideline around the inside on both sides, and we're going to bevel the edge of this. Okay, up here we came in about 3/16 of an inch. And then here on the side we came in only about 1/8. All right, there we go. We've got our marks on both sides. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use the center line. Okay, there we go. Now we've got our marks on both sides, and we're going to use the center where the two pieces of foam came together, and that is going to be where we Dremel to. So we're going to Dremel from this center line to this line. We're going to Dremel off an edge all the way around, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to come from the center line to this line, and we're going to Dremel off. So we've got a nice tapered edge all the way around the blade. All right, let's get our dust mask on and tear it up. All right, there you go. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at that perfect bevel from line to line. And now we're going to come down the edge. Now what we need to do on the front is we need to snip a little bit of this off, and let me show you why. Cut a little bit off of this side and off of this side. All right, see what we did? How we cut a taper? We need that for when we continue on with our Dremeling, and we'll show you why. That is crazy fantastic. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. And look at how easy that was. You saw how totally easy this is. All right, now the real magic happens when we flip it over and we do the same thing on this side, and the whole thing's going to have a crazy tapered edge to it. So let's do it. We've got a tapered edge all the way around the blade on both sides, so that when you look at it from the side, it's got that nice tapered peak. All right, now let's come in with our 220. Let's get the edge just a little bit. All right, there we go. Beautiful. All right, now let's get our heat gun out and let's seal this. Now we don't want to cook it, because we don't want to separate the glue, and we don't want to melt our tip, okay? Because you can melt the tip because it's so thin. So we want to hit it, but we don't want to hit it for a long time. So let's get this side first. There we go, see that? Just a quick hit. All right, and we'll back it up a little bit so it doesn't burn it. Wow, that is a beautiful blade. Look at that with the tapered edges. Man, oh man, hot dog, is that cool. Wow. All right, the hardest part of the build is done. All right, now it's time to do the two smaller blades, and we're going to use the exact same techniques we used on the big blade. We're going to use two 3mm pieces. We're going to Dremel out our trench for our thin little metal supports to go. And then we're going to seal it and cut it out and Dremel the edges. And we went ahead and we bent the two ends. Those are going to be the pieces that are going to be sticking out at the end when we stick them down in. And you'll see why we bent them. Like that. That. All right. Right through here. All right, there we go. There's all of our pieces. We're going to be sticking this down with these straight lines flush here and here. And that is... All right, give it all a few minutes before we stick it. Just like that, so these edges are straight. And we're going to line up our edges. Beautiful. With our supports, really nice. There you go. There's both of our blades with their supports. All right, there we go. Now we're not going to taper the back sides of the blade. Those are going to be straight, but we're going to taper the front. Like that. All right, look at that tapered edge. That is crazy. Now, if you notice, this is why we bent our poles. Because even though the blades are on an angle, we want them to go straight into the body. So that's why we did that. All right, that's some crazy blade work right there. Really nice. And that was the hardest part of the whole build. And you saw that it wasn't that hard. All right, now here's our pieces for the handle. And this is going to be really easy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and knock this piece out using our X-Acto knife. Let's separate these, make it a little easier to deal with. All right, now this is going to be really easy stuff, but we're going to be sticking these together and we want them to line up. And because we want them to line up, we're going to have to cut really carefully on these details. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, we're going to go right to our point. We're going to go out. Perfect. All right, now let's do this one. All right, now we're going to move over to the bandsaw and we're going to knock these out. All right, there we go. Now we're going to transfer the other pattern to the top to cut the tapered side. All right, there we go. Very nice. Now you see. All right, there we go. Give it a few minutes. We just want to make sure that we line up our edges. As long as we line up our outside edges, we will be gold. All right, there we go, right on the corner. And right along the edge, nicely right there. All right, same thing. Let's get up here, let's get our corner down. Look at that. Beautiful. Now see how you just can't drop it down. You have to muscle it in place a little bit. There we go, because foam gives and it doesn't go down exactly the way you drew it. All right, there you go. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to come in and do this. We're going to cut right around here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to transfer that pattern over. All right, there we go. Now that's pretty darn thick. So we're going to cut that on the scroll saw because it's got some kind of squirrely corners there. So let's go do that. Okay, here we go. Check that out. Turned out great. So once again, we layered stuff up, used a square edge so that everything was lined up exactly where we wanted it, and then we cut it out. Look at that. That's nice. All right, now what we're going to do first is we are going to round this edge off with the Dremels. Let's get our dust mask on. Nice, rounded edges everywhere, very cool. And these little pieces in here were just a hair raised up off of the centerpiece, so we evened it out with the Dremel. Really nice. All right, here we go. These are some easy cuts. There's going to be a set of these on both sides of the knife. All right, there we go. Now just finish the rest of them. All right, there you go, super easy. Now we're going to come in with our Dremel and we're going to slightly round all the edges off. All right, there we go. Nice slight round edge on all four pieces, just so that it doesn't have a squared off edge. Just looks a little more finished that way. All right, now what we're doing is we're heating up our wood burner, and we're gonna come through and we're gonna put a nice groove in right where those four lines are. Wear a dust mask if you're gonna be wood burning, because this is melting plastic and you don't want those fumes going up your nose. So make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. And I have a fan off to the side which blows the fumes away so they don't go up my nose. So let's go ahead, get our dust mask on real quick, and then we're just gonna hit these real fast. And all right, nice, look at that. Now don't forget, with a wood burner, you can't change your speed or your pressure, because if you start moving too fast, the line will thin out, and if you slow down, the line will get too thick. So you gotta hit and start at one speed and stay at the same speed consistently so your line weight stays the same. Get a mark where we're gonna super glue. Some super glue down. We're gonna use an extra piece of foam, sort of as a brush. There we go, we left a little gap in the middle, just like that. Nice, all right, let's knock out the other side. All right, here's more of our details that are gonna go right here on these two sides. So we're gonna cut two sets of these. All right, now we're gonna cut these circles out. All right, there we go, really easy stuff. All right, now we're gonna take our Dremel out and we're gonna soften up the edge. All right, there we go, soft edge, really nice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get our circle template out. All right, there we go. Now we know right where our center dot is. We're gonna come in with our wood burner and we're gonna just simply put a little dot right in the middle. There we go, just like that. All right, we've got a puddle of super glue there. All right, there we go. I'm gonna set it right in the middle of our mark. Nice, look at that. That is cool. All right, that's it, just like that. All right, now we're gonna take the bottom piece of our body and we're gonna round off the edges. We have our dust mask on. Nice, nice and rounded off. That's really cool. All right, now let's come in here. Let's get some of these little frays off with our X-Acto blade. Just like that. Now we're gonna come in with our 220. It's gonna smooth it out even more. Let's tighten it up. There we go, look at that, nice and smooth, tight. All right, give it a couple minutes. All right, there we go, check that out. Really cool. Okay, there's our markings for our 3/4 inch strips. Get a measurement for our length. There, like that. And it's going to be just like that. And we're just going to take our time and make all 4 measurements so our length is exactly what we want. All right, there's all of our marks. All right, there's our 4 strips. We've got them marked. We've got the arrow at the top so we know what side is up. Now we're going to do a quick little rounding of the edges. Nothing major, just a slight little rounding because we don't want the edges to be square. All right, there we go. Nice softened edges. Cool. All right, now let's come in and make some marks and let's glue these on. All right, there we go. Give it a couple minutes and then bam, contact. Wow, that is a great looking detail right there. Love that. Love it. Okay, we don't want to stretch. We actually want to compact a little bit because we want to line up our edges right here. There we go. Let's see where we're coming out here. Okay, we're a little bit long, so let's contract it a little bit right there. Perfect. And then we can just squeeze it around the corner. See that? That's why foam is so cool. If you're a hair short, you can stretch it. If you're a hair long, you can just compact it, and you can't even tell the difference. Wow, is that nice? Really cool. All right, that was it. Piece of cake so far. So far, so good. You are seeing once again how easy this is. Nothing crazy here. Just take your time. Be careful, line stuff up when you're sticking it, when you're layering up, so that when you do your cut, everything's looking good. Should be no problem. This is a total breeze. Love this thing, man. Golly, totally fun so far. So that concludes making an EVA foam Klingon knife part 1. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.